Hey, gorgeous. Today was a busy day. I went on a little, day trip Christmassy thing with Jake. So, I guess to start, this at the beginning, Jake, as an early Christmas present, he got me a Garmin watch. But basically, since we've gotten these watches, Jake has gotten, more into trying to get fit, which is hilarious, because I've mentioned in the past, I've sort of half-tried before the wedding to, eat better and exercise more and whatever. And Jake did a little bit, but then he sort of was I don't care. But now that the wedding's over, he's oh, I need to weight train, I need to be moving, I need to do this. And I'm glad that he finally has the motivation for it. But I'm just why now? But totally fine. It's just, I thought that was very funny that he didn't like the extrinsic motivator that most people would use. He's just nope, not for me. I need to be motivated on my own time. I was pressured to do it, so I didn't want to, and now I can. Anyway, so since we've gotten these watches, we've been counting our steps. The reason he got these is because I mentioned, oh, it'd be kind of cool to have, a Fitbit, just, know how many steps I take in a day. But then he's oh, well, Fitbits, whatever, and blah, blah, and then he, studied up on it, and he went hard studying on it, and he's I think these will be the best ones for us. They're on sale for Black Friday, yada, yada, so we have them, and now we try and meet our step goals. It's a little harder for Jake. Me, I run around with kids all day, so for me, it's not so bad. Jake, he works from home, so it's a little harder. So there have been nights where we're hey, we need, one thing at Target, and generally we wait on it. But we're you know what, we should go, and then we can walk around Target, get our steps in. Stuff like that. So an idea I had was I really wanted to go to the Mall of America. The Mall of America, if you haven't heard of it, it's this huge mall in Minnesota. It was a place where when I grew up, I lived very far away. I still lived in Minnesota, but I lived quite a distance. So for my family, that was our summer vacation, was just spending a day at the Mall of America, going to Camp Snoopy, which is now Nickelodeon Universe. And it's just a place I know it decently well. I don't go there often because I don't really need to go there. It's fun to look around, but I'm not someone who likes to shop necessarily. I think it's fun to look at stuff. I'm very much a window shopper and I don't really buy things. So when it's something like that, it's does it really pay to drive all the way there and deal with all the people and whatever? But I was well, they do mall walking in the morning. So if you weren't aware and you live sort of in the area, the Mall of America opens at 10. I don't know if that's every day. At least today is a Saturday. It opens at 10 on Saturdays, but for 3 hours before it opens, the doors are open. The stores aren't. I think a couple of coffee shops were open when we got there. We got there at 9 this morning, but it opens 3 hours early. So you could technically go at 7 and just walk around, and there aren't as many people there because there aren't any stores open. Jake and I were a little late on that, but we did end up going, and the reason was because I wanted to see all the cool Christmas decorations. So I will probably just put random snippets. I took a couple videos of it. We walked around. We saw the giant trees they always put in the center. There was basically a line of nutcrackers and cool trees. And they were silver trees, and I thought those were so pretty. And they had a little, the Christmas station. It's Cool 108, which is generally the oldie station. For this time of year, they become Cool 108, and they're the Christmas station. So they had a little booth there. No one was there yet, but they had stuff set up around it. Glittering stuff coming from the ceiling. There were giant ornaments hanging around. It was very festive. And then we got to we walked around each floor at least once to get our steps in. And that was really fun. I enjoyed looking at stuff and walking around. We wound up walking around the second floor first. And then we went up to the third floor, which was a bad idea because that's where all the places I wanted to go were. But we ended up skipping all those places, going back to the first floor, walking around once, and then we went back up, and we were hungry. So we went to the food court, and we were going to go to Ichido Ramen. There's one that we've been to before, but we hadn't been to the one in Mall of America. Unfortunately, they weren't open yet, so by the time we'd finished walking around and everything, it was about 10:45, and we left our house at 9, so we got there I think at 9:30. And so we walked around for a decent amount of time. But since they weren't open yet, we decided to backtrack our way to Five Below. I mentioned that in a video I'm going to post probably before this one. Basically, I got a pair of shoes because I need something to go out in the car shed. So I found these Croc lookalike things just for $5. And they're lined on the inside so they're warm. because otherwise I have to like full on put my boots on. I also got a couple things to put in a present for my nieces and nephews, because what I made didn't seem like a good enough present on its own, at least not something kids would enjoy. So I'm hoping I bumped it up a little bit by adding a couple things. So that was first stop, and then once we had gone there, we decided to go back, and the restaurant was open, and it was delicious. I think this might be a chain, but it was still very good. Jake got, I think it was the Tantan ramen, I forget. But his ramen looked delicious. I tried a little bit of it, and it was pretty good. I got a char siu donburi, which is just a rice bowl. It was delicious. It was so good. They also had bubble tea there, and I haven't had bubble tea in ages. When Jake and I started dating, we would get bubble tea all the time. We'd always go to Sencha and get bubble tea, because there was one near where I lived at the time. It wasn't even that close, but it was near enough. But we decided to get bubble tea there. I got winter melon. It didn't taste bad, but it tasted like something I had before. I think we kind of decided it tasted kind of like a brown sugar, even though it's supposed to be like some sort of fruit vegetable sort of thing. It kind of just tasted like a brown sugar flavored drink. And I put yogurt bobas. I never had yogurt popping bobas, but it worked with it very well. It like enhanced the flavor. The only other options I had were mango or strawberry, and I'd never had winter melon, so I didn't know how that would react. So I think I made the good choice. Jake got a peach. I'll have to look up the word later. But it was like a Japanese yogurt drink. I think it was Japanese. Yeah, probably, because it's Ichigo ramen, right? So it was like a yogurt drink, and it was very good. You could taste the tang of the yogurt in it. He got a peach one. Loved it. So, praising that one, because originally we were going to go, they had it's probably not new, we just haven't been there in years, but they had a conveyor belt sushi place that was like across from the food court where that was, and we wanted to go there, but there's a pretty substantial wait, so we decided to skip it, which is fine. I think I more wanted to go there because Jake has told me before the best sushi he ever had was when we got conveyor belt sushi in Japan. But he re-explained to me, he's like, the reason that was the best sushi I've had was because we were in Japan. Because I think that was the only sushi he got the whole time he was there. So he said it's not that it was conveyor belt sushi, it's that it was, Japanese sushi, and it just tasted more fresh than here. I don't really remember the difference. I'd have to go back and try it again, which I will one of these days. After that, we were going to go to Tomodachi. That's a store I've always liked. It has a bunch of just kind of like cutesy things. It always has ramenes. It has like plushies. It's just really cute stuff. But the doors were shut, so we couldn't go in. So I was like, well, that's a bummer. But we noticed there was a new shop, kind of like across from there, called Ebisu, which I actually have a little haul from that I'm going to do right now. Because, all right, I'm going to show you this. Look they actually give you like a cloth bag with your purchase. Yeah, it says the shop's name right on it, Ebisu. This is probably what it is in kanji, unless that's something different. I only know the hiragana. I've been learning Japanese for a while, but that doesn't mean I'm good at it. Or that I really know what it means. I can just read it. So here's what some of the things we got. We got a 3-pack of yaki udon. I think it's just soy sauce flavored. It just says sauce, but I think we're assuming it's just soy sauce. It's got 3 in there, so we figured Jake could have it for lunches and I could try one. Jake got, I don't even know what this is. It looks like a 0-calorie, like peach and grape mix of gummies. That's what I'm going to assume. Well, you can kind of see through it. Yeah, they're gummies. They're little, it looks like they're little juice pouches, little juices. He'll love that. He loves 0-calorie stuff. He also got himself a seafood cup noodle. Ooh, and a cheese curry cup noodle. Wow. I can't be jealous. I could have got these things too. I just did not. Oh, it looks like some fried potato. What is it? Stiku potato. Wow, it looks really cute. I think I read that correctly. It sounds like what it would be, right? And then he got himself, looks like a peach water. And then we're into the things I got. So these are what I know what they are. This is a matcha latte. Haven't had it yet. I think I like matcha, and then I buy matcha things, and then I try them, and then I don't like them. But we'll see. This might be different. I think because generally matcha is a little more bitter, and I feel like I like sweet matcha. I like sweet things. It's a curse of mine, so who knows? We'll see if I like this one. But I do like the matcha oat milk lattes. I've tried those before, and those are pretty good. But they're like at Starbucks, so they're sweetened, I'm sure. I got, this just looked like a Kewpie Mayo noodle pack, which I used to, when we were in Japan and we went to Konbinis, I would get these. I have never had this one in particular, but it looked good. And this one, I was just curious. So this is, what was it? Oh, it had English on the back. That's why I knew what it was. I was like, I don't think I read this. It's called Salty Lychee. So it says it's lychee with Okinawa sea salt. And I'm curious, because I like lychee, but I haven't had salty lychee. So we'll see how that tastes. But yeah, it was really exciting to go there and just look at all the stuff. They had like a giant Zoro and Luffy in the window. They had like a character from Slam Dunk, and they had Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And they had a bunch of figurines. They had a bunch. So we just got food, but that's not all that was at Ebisu. They had home stuff. They had baby stuff. They had like a lot of skincare stuff, a crazy amount of skincare stuff. They basically just, and they had like some just seasonings, like they had furikake and sauces. They had a lot of stuff. And then, like I mentioned, the figurines, and it was really cool. And there are some that like were animes that were older. Like I mentioned the giant Slam Dunk figure. That's an older anime. They had Shaman King stuff. They also had Demon Slayer stuff. So it was kind of all over the place. And I love it, and I want to go back. So that's my new calling when I go to the Mall of America, is to go back to Ebisu. And I'm pretty sure they have those in Japan. I know I've seen the name before, unless there are other places in the US that have them, but I don't think I've seen them here. They probably exist. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I don't think I've seen them here. I think I've seen them in other countries, like South Korea or Japan somewhere. So once we were done at Ebisu, it was time to head out. And we went to Ikea. So if you're not familiar with the area, the Mall of America is like right across the road from an Ikea. We actually went there a week or two ago. I don't remember, but we made a giant, like, hold on, I'll show you. We made this giant shelf. It's like a 5x5, like, square shelf that, like, we decided to put all of our movies are in there, and then we put all of our video games and just, like, some cups that we don't use very often, but that we like. All of our board games are over there. And we still have extra space that we need to figure out how to do it. We just kind of threw stuff in there currently. But it's a really nice shelf. And I'll put whatever the name of it is at the bottom here, because I cannot remember at the top of my head. But it was pretty easy to put together. We had to like put it on our whole bed. And yeah, it was it took up more than the whole thing. Okay. I was going to say back to our regularly scheduled program, but I decided to move down here because this is where I have the IKEA bag with the stuff we put in it. I already took out the thing I was going to show you. So when we went to Ikea, we went there kind of on a mission. We were thinking of getting another shelf like what I just showed you, but a 3x4 one to put in our bedroom. But they didn't have any in stock, and it was also sort of like an impulse decision we made on the way there, because I really don't like Jake's bookshelf, which is what I put this camera on every time I'm filming. But I don't like how it looks because the sides are open. If a book slips and falls out, then everything comes toppling down. It's very annoying. And yeah, I just thought it would be nicer to have the shelf like what was in there. And even though we don't, like I said, we have so much room on there, we don't have anything we need to put on it, but it just seemed like a nice idea. But they didn't have that. So the other thing we went looking for were, I'll show you, these curtains. So they kind of look like a shower curtain at the top, but Jake didn't like the ruched ones. But we wanted some white curtains because, I'll show you real quick so you'll get a little glimpse of our living room. So we have just dark brown curtains. I'm not huge on the brown. It kind of makes the room look very, very dark. And I'd like it more if there were like a brighter color. And Jake agreed. We're like, we should get a white or a cream or like a white with like an accent or something. Because we also have like a cream sort of floor. And we have all sorts of like, we have brown couches. Like there's too much brown. So we were talking about just kind of getting rid of some of the brown and putting in some more lighter colors so it just looks more open. So that's the hope with these. We're going to try them out and see if we like them. But yeah, so that was our IKEA purchase. We also got these, like, they're really cool gummies. They're like marshmallow sort of-y kind of things, but we haven't had these ones. But these are strawberry, blackcurrant raspberry, and blueberry. That sounds like more normal, but last time we went, I got these ones because they sounded weird. Because it says it's pear and forest fruit flavored sour foam candy. And we tried them. They're delicious. It tastes just like pear. I don't know what forest fruit tastes like, but it tastes like what forest fruit would presumably taste like. It wasn't a big haul like we expected, but it was a decent haul, and it leads to less work for us to do tonight. After Ikea, we drove to Target because there were a couple things that we generally shop at Aldi, but there were a couple things Aldi didn't have. And also, we realized the last time we went, the price of eggs has gotten crazy. I think eggs were like $4 or $5 at Aldi for like a 12-pack. We found some for the same price, but it was an 18-pack at Target. So we're like, okay, we're going to get eggs here from now on. Everything else still seems like sort of reasonable, but we're like, gee whiz. I know like there's something going on with egg prices right now, but it was a lot. So anyway, that was one thing we wanted to check prices there. We also wanted to get some stuff. We're doing a Friendsmas tomorrow with a few college friends of mine. So we decided to like grab a couple snacks, and I needed bread flour because I plan to make a recipe tomorrow that calls for bread flour, and you can't find that at Aldi. There are a couple other things, but then Jake, spur of the moment, decided that he wanted to get a bunch of dumbbells because we currently have a sort of dumbbell that you can adjust the weights, but adjusting the weights is a pain in the butt because it was a cheap dumbbell set. So he was picking out a bunch of those, and then we were getting other random stuff around the store. After that, we had to go to Best Buy because we ordered something at Best Buy last night that I'm a little excited about. I'll get to that in a minute. But before we got to Best Buy, we noticed there was a sporting goods store next to it. And Jake got 15, 20, and 30-pound weights, but they didn't have 25-pound weights at Target. So he wanted to run over there, and then he got some 25-pound weights and carried them to the car. And I was just like, Jake, we've been out all day. I just want to go home. But he wanted to grab his weights, so he did. And then we went to Best Buy, which wasn't too far away from there. So going to Best Buy, we get our purchase, and then we go home. And I'm not doing a Target haul because, one, the stuff is boring, but two, because also while we were at that sporting goods store, next to where he got the weights, they had those Bowflex weights, the kinds that you can adjust to like 5 pounds or like 20 pounds or 50 pounds. Like just pick it up and it'll be like that. And we saw the price of that, and I was like, huh, because it was, I think, $450 or something. And Jake had just spent $300 on the weights at Target. And I was like, oh, well, like, it's probably not worth it. It's probably like $450 like per dumbbell. So that's like a crazy amount of money. That's not worth it. But then Jake was thinking about it the whole way home. And so when he got home, I had started unpacking the car, and he's just like, just leave the weights in there. And he looked it up, and he realized that it is $450 for 2 Bowflex things. And he says, it's a little more, but roughly the same price as all the stuff I bought today. And it can also go, and the highest he got was 30-pound weights, but these can go up to 50. So Jake is gone right now because after all of the errands we ran, we got home at like 2:33, and he's like, I gotta go return all those weights and then buy new ones. So I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, I would wait for a different day, but whatever floats your boat. So he's out doing that, and I'm at home recording this because it's nice to record when he's out in the house because I always feel like I'm bothering him when I just talk at the camera like this. Even though I'm trying to be as far away from where he is in the house as possible, which is why I always just sit here in front of my bed. But this leads to one last little unboxing. So this may not be a true unboxing because I have already peeked inside and read some of the information, although I haven't actually taken the product itself out, so maybe it counts. But I'll give you, hold on, let me just cover this label real quick. Give you a little sneak peek. I got me a camera! So, this will probably be the last time you see me on my phone camera, unless I just don't have this one with me. But I used to watch a lot of like wedding bloggers and lots of different things. But now I mainly only watch Mikkel Jancy. She's doing Vlogmas, and one of her videos was about how to get started on YouTube, which, to be fair, I really enjoy making YouTube videos, even though I kind of am like, like about actually doing stuff on time. But she recommended this camera as like a good beginner camera. And I've never had a nice camera because I'm scared of breaking it. I don't want to change lens caps because I'm scared I'll lose something. Like, there are a lot of reasons I don't have a nice camera. But I decided to take her word for it because I like the content I've seen on her channel looks pretty good. And hopefully won't be grainy like this. Ooh! Sorry, I was kind of opening it while I was talking. Oh, so it has like a flip out camera. Oh, it spins. She showed this, so I knew it did that, but I still sort of forgot. Yeah, so you can have it looking out towards you when you're doing it in selfie mode. Oh, that's so neat. It's got a spot for a tripod, which I need to find our tripod. It's still missing. We had to, oh no, we bought a new one for the wedding because we lost our old tripod, so I should be able to find it somewhere. But yeah, I'm very excited. This was something I decided to buy because, one, I just want a nice camera. Not even necessarily, well, actually, no, kind of for this, but not really to like become big on YouTube. It's more because the quality of these videos isn't that good. It's just on my phone camera. And most of the time, I just like sit in front of it. I don't bring it places, or I forget to take pictures places. And if I do, the videos are probably okay, but I feel like I could get better like actual vlogging video on this, and then Jake and I can have more of those memories on an SD card, which, so Jake's like, I'm gonna be a supportive husband, so I bought the camera, and he got me like 2 SD cards and an adapter, or a data transfer one, so I can like bring out to my computer very easily, which is so nice of him, because that's not something I even thought of. I was gonna buy the camera. Oh, because I sort of skipped over this part. Another reason I got the camera is because, so this was like a $500 camera, but it's because my bosses are very nice. They gave me a Christmas bonus at work yesterday because it's the last day I'll see them before. Another reason I got this camera. It's the last time I'll see them before their vacation. They're going on vacation next week, and they're going to a different state. But then they're also going to Mexico, and I'm going to meet them in Mexico, and I'm going to be nannying in Mexico for 10 days. And I was like, this will be great to get lots of like cool videos and pictures that I can show Jake. And if I bring this with me, I'm really hoping I don't forget it at like the house or anything. But if I feel like if I could get some good quality images and memories, like that'd be just neat. That'd be tops. Okay, so I am talking a lot. I showed a lot of what I did today, and there might be more to come. We'll see. Jake and I talked about maybe doing like our Christmas tonight, just because it's been kind of like a, ooh, Christmassy stuff is happening today sort of thing. But oh, you can see the top of the bookshelf I'm filming on. I usually bend it so you can't see that. Oopsies. Yeah, we're thinking of maybe doing that. He got some Christmas Legos that we might put together while watching a Christmas movie, or maybe Jingle Jam by the Ogscast. If you can't tell, Jake and I mainly watch YouTubers. We don't really watch shows or TV. We don't have cable. We basically only watch YouTube. Anyway, I feel like I'm tangenting because I'm just very excited. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. And if more stuff happens, I'll come back to you later. Bye.
You actually don't even need that much,
let
alone...
Oh, okay. I thought that was tiny. It is big, though. Here's my husband.
Hello.
Hello! So, the drapes are growing on me. It still feels very weird, because I expect brown, but they are not brown. And then we got more over here. We got one on that side, and one on this side. There's our little middle place. We just did Christmas. That's why all the stuff's on the floor. And Jake's enjoying a post-Christmas eggnog.
Playing solitaire.
I'm playing solitaire. No longer watching YouTube. I got Jake all these things. I got him, like, a sweatshirt and pants. I was going to call them leggings. What are they? They're not leggings.
Pajama pants.
Pajama pants? No, there's a word. Joggers? No, are
Trainers?
they pajama pants?
No, trainers are, that's shoes.
Alright, well, I'm going to kick them aside. I got him a sweatshirt, too. And then I got him a gumball machine and gumballs. For fun. He's a very creative man. He'll make a great gumball machine.
He'll probably follow the instructions.
And Jake got me Steve the Bartender's Cocktail Guide. Because I love him. He knew I'd like it if a content creator got money. And the best gift... Maybe one day. I made you a cocktail, sort of. I'll show them in a minute.
Okay.
He also got me tickets to 1:00, which is fucking great. I'm so excited. I love them. Also, running upstairs to show another thing that I forgot about, but then remembered because we decided to get a Christmas eggnog, which I'll get to in a minute. But Jake put contact paper in the back of our cupboard, and it looks really nice, and I'm going to show you. Look at this. It, like, matches our dishes, which is really great. But it looks so nice. So, to get like some perspective, I'll show you one of our other cupboards. Let's see, which one has the least stuff in it? So they just look like this. Like they're just plain like white background and then this like checkerboard bottom that looks just kind of like a kid's birthday party. But he got this stuff with like the hexagons and it's gray, and I just realized today that it looks like the dishes. And it looks so spacious and sleek in there now. It used to just look so crowded and awful. So this is super exciting for me. I also wanted to show you, I mentioned I made Jake a cocktail, and I'm going to show you what I made. So, here's our fridge. Enjoy. I'm not going to show very much of it. So we have this eggnog. And like, no shade, but it's not our favorite eggnog. It is pretty booze heavy. So one thing I did, because I thought I'd try it since it was like kind of harsh, I had this in the fridge, this Bullhouse vanilla chai that I've been kind of drinking because I love me some chai. So I put like 3/4 eggnog and a little bit of chai, and it made it so much sweeter, and it's way less harsh on the mouth. So that's the cocktail I made Jake. And now we're going to celebrate Christmas and make some Legos. So that's how the night is going. It's been a pretty darn good day. We've gotten a lot done. Jake like cleaned the house while I was busy doing all of my other tasks that I do for the day. Oh, I'm gonna show you this cute little gnome we got at Ikea. 100% do not regret this purchase.
You regretted it a little bit.
I regret it a little bit because we got this the last time we went to Ikea a couple weeks ago. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think that was like last weekend.
Yeah, we went last weekend to get the Kallax.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Kallax, then we went back today to get some curtains that I already showed. And today, so when we got it, it was $9.99, and today it was $5.99. I was like, oh, we spent an extra $4. But it's a cute little gnome, so I'll say it's worth it, even though I guess it was a minor regret, as Jake pointed out. So I guess it's not Christmas, it's like, what, the 17th or 18th? But Merry Christmas anyway. It was our Christmas. And we're gonna keep watching, what are we watching?
The Professional Stream.
We're gonna watch the Professional Stream and make some Christmassy Legos. So, bye! So I made a little Santa. Look at him go. He's got little skis. He's got his little pack that moves up and down with green and yellow toys in it, I guess. But Jake got the cooler one. He made a frickin' working train that goes chugga chugga choo choo, and I'm very jealous. Can Santa go on the train? Is there room?
I wonder if we could get it to stick somehow.
I don't think so.
You could probably stick on something.
Ah!
Or maybe have to like rearrange that middle cart.
I think if I stick them on the front. I got a chugging Santa. A top heavy one.